Working Interferences is intended for mature audiences. Since the hosts never grew up, someone needs to be the adult.
Welcome to Working Interferences with Lance
and Holly,
the dental advice podcast for the average dentist. Here is Lance
and Holly. Who are you?
What? I vote
I think
to
I
not
know
be
you.
the adult today. I don't want to be the adult. I feel like I've been doing a lot of adulting lately, and I just
there has been a fair amount of adulting.
Yeah. So it's been a minute
It's
since we've been here.
It's been minutes.
It's been lots.
Did you know that this is the first time in 2024 that we've recorded?
I thought we recorded once in January.
It was just before the new year.
Oh, really? Okay, because I thought we did it in January.
I released it probably in January, but
Oh, maybe. Okay.
it might have been January 2nd.
Yikes. So
No,
those of you that are listening, thanks for staying with us.
You're both my favorite people.
You know, it's hard to make time for this. Not that it's not enjoyable to do. It's hard to make time when you're not making any money doing it, and you're opening up your life to a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I still have that weirdness where people are like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?"
They know you.
Yeah, and
because you've shared details.
And I already feel like I have
ether.
a little bit of dementia setting. So I'm like, have I met this person before? And I look at you, I'm like, do I know this person? And you're like, no, you have no idea who they are. I'm like, okay, good.
You don't know them, or you ran into, I know where you crossed their path and can fill in that blank.
And part of it is I feel bad. If I do know them, I feel bad that I don't remember
them. It's just if you have met them across their path before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because I would feel bad if I had met somebody and they forgot who I was, and it's not necessarily that. It's just, it's a lot. Yeah,
and the setup now, it's definitely a lot more gear intensive. It's setting up, whereas prior iterations of the show, it was real easy. The computer, I just had to log into a computer with a microphone.
Yeah, we've had a lot happen since the last time we talked to you.
Because we barely had touched on, we may not have even touched, because that would have been December. Skylar returned in August, but I think the episode before that one was the episode I had to delete with Bianca, talk about tips.
Yeah.
And that was in August.
Yeah, because
so I don't think anybody really knows our living situation.
We live in this really cute little townhome that we got after, in the middle of COVID, we sold our house.
So in case those that weren't keeping score or totally forgot, you've all heard the phrase that you can never go home again. You graduate high school, you move on, go to college and stuff. And at that point, you can never go home. Well, we sold the house so the girls couldn't come home. And it wasn't so much that was the reason. There was a lot that went into it. It was just kind of an added bonus that, okay, it's our empty nesters. Let's downsize.
We knew we would always have a place for that one of them to come and crash if they ever needed to crash.
Right.
We were thinking one of them.
Yeah. And our youngest decided, for those that remember, that the tip episode that is missing from the archives, because she was at the place that she worked. There were too much evidence that people could figure out where it was. So just the peace of mind for her employers and everything, we just deleted it. But she went into an esthetician school. She decided she wasn't interested in going to college. And college for her would have been the first, who knew how many years, would have all been online. So if you're going to go off to college, you want the college experience. You want to live in a dorm. You want to have roommates. You want all of that. And fun fact, the online college experience was still going to cost the same as if it was supposed to be. So I'm not paying that kind of money for a Zoom curriculum. So she went on, became an esthetician, and as such, she never left, never moved out, that part. Well, coming up on a year ago, our daughter that had moved out, and at that point she was living in Anaheim, really close to Disneyland, and it was a situation that she needed to come home. So I went down and moved her in, and
we went down.
Yeah.
And moved her home.
The moving was you. I went down, met her in Vegas, and just flew home with her and said, let's go get your stuff next weekend, and we moved her back. And so we have a room where I usually recorded is now her room. And so I haven't touched that equipment, that recording gear since. And then just recently.
So Bianca's still here.
So Bianca's here. Skylar's downstairs.
And then
And we're in a 2-bedroom townhome, really close
about
to
670 living space.
Yeah, it's bigger than that, but the actual space that we spend any time in is it's a studio. So
So as of last month, my oldest,
our oldest, Brianna, has returned.
she got the renewal for her rent, and so in March she was like, I don't know how am I going to do this, because when she had originally moved downtown Seattle into Cap Hill, it was right in the middle of COVID when they had taken over the East Precinct, and she was like,
if anybody remembers Chaz,
yeah, she was a block away.
So
And she was able to get a rental on a studio for really cheap for Seattle standards. I mean, literally her rent was what mine was in 1998 or 89 when I lived there. And when she got the renewal and all of the weird rental things have been lifted from the city, her rent went up to $2,100, where she was like, holy shit, Mom, I can't do this. This is ridiculous. If I'm going to pay this, I need to pay it on a mortgage. So
yeah,
I said, well, why don't you come home, figure your stuff out, save some money. So now she's living in the middle of our living room on a twin bed pressed up against all of our wine racks.
So we had to split the wine like Moses doing the Red Sea.
Oh.
So we split the Red Sea. We parted the Red Sea. All the red wine is parted, and a bed is in between. And for privacy, we created those little, what do you call that? Those privacy dividers that those walls.
They're just room dividers.
Room dividers. So we kind of barricaded a little spot for her, but
yeah, it's just been.
So for us to try to record, it's
10 o'clock at night right now, and we're thinking, oh, let's record because everybody's out for Friday night.
Everyone's gone. We should record now.
And so it's just been a lot, and it's been a little bit of an adjustment. We've been gone a lot.
That's the other reason for not recording so much, because we finally have a weekend where we're actually home, and I kind of just want to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, but I have to say, I have kind of missed recording. So, here's hoping.
And there have been lots of times where you're like, oh, we need to talk about this.
Yeah, and then I don't write it down, and I can't remember anything. So,
but there definitely been those little epiphanies, like, because we, as educational as this isn't, it's actually been beneficial to a lot of people. It's been satisfying when people come up to us saying, oh my God, thank God you mentioned that. I thought I was alone. I was the only one with that problem or whatever. And the fact we're pretty honest about things. It's good that people know you're not alone.
Right.
And this shit does happen to everyone. And so hopefully we can continue with putting it from our perspective.
We do need feedback. We need, ideas of things that people would like us to talk about. I know everybody thinks, oh, I'm not going to say anything because someone else will say something and they'll be on their. Well, we've seen how well that works.
Yeah.
So I would prefer if we talked about things that people were actually interested in.
Mm-hmm. Our source material generally is going to be Reddit or
personal experience.
Yeah, Reddit. It's been so long I forgot where all the buttons. Yeah. We've got the that is source material. We've got social media. All of the Pussy. No shit, wrong one.
Social.
That one. Social media has good resources as well. So, but certainly would love to tailor the material to information that people are wanting specifics on. So, working interferences at gmail.com. No,
do you ever check that?
I do. It's full of spam.
Oh,
so I really should.
Ouch.
Figure out the spam issue and get it cleaned up or something. But no, I check it. So Winterferences on Instagram, I check the messages there. And again, it's mostly spam. There are hot single women that want to get to know me. So there's that.
Let's go, baby.
They're dying to meet me, Holly.
Emphasis on dying.
Speaking of dying,
So,
was that not a good segue?
oh my God. Well, are we going to talk about the sleep conference we went to, or
Yeah.
okay? So we went to a sleep conference. And Lance and I get a little bit trunky and a little bit sassy sometimes when a speaker runs a bit at the mouth. And they were asking. So Lance and I were commenting, and I'm like,
well, they always at the end of every CE, you always have the feedback forms to fill out because they don't get credit or something unless there's feedback. And so we gave feedback.
I literally almost lost my goddamn shit.
I was a little more succinct. I just said there should be a shot clock.
I was like, that was the most ridiculous bullshit I've ever heard in my life. Somebody needed to go up and say, you need to stop talking right now. You are an hour over your time. And yeah, it was ridiculous. I
have no problem with 5 minutes, 10 minutes here. Maybe we had a 30-minute break. Now we're only going to get 15 minutes. Okay, that happens. That's normal. That's expected.
It was an hour.
This one went really, really long.
And then the guy was like, oh, I should probably be almost done. How much more time? And they're like, 30 more minutes, because literally he took up the time of the next speaker.
The next group was like, it was a panel speaker thing. And
that was the only reason I was fucking sitting there. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So they didn't even do it. And I was a little bit livid.
Yeah.
I wasn't
as livid, but we did both have the same feedback saying, yeah, you need that vaudeville hook, and a gong show.
That's what somebody was like, you need to play them off. You start the music and it gets louder, like at the Oscars.
At the Oscars, the symphony starts playing.
So any of you that are out there in your speakers, get your shit together. Get a tight 10. Know your time and get off the stage.
Yeah.
I get that everybody in this industry is passionate about whatever aspect of the industry that they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And some of you are very knowledgeable. Not all of you. Some of you.
We're not going to name names.
We're not throwing anybody under the bus, but this is something else I was going to talk about because it's mind-boggling to me that you guys will pay thousands of dollars to listen to a speaker that the only thing they know about their industry or what they're speaking on is what the outline of their talk is about. They have very little hands-on knowledge. It's like these motherfuckers on Instagram. Dr. Dancing Dentist who fucking has never placed anything ever in his life. Look at my shit. Your shit looks like shit.
Yeah. Well, there's one that I think he's given up on the clinical stuff and it's all talking about mental health now. And it's just like, I'm not listening to jack shit that you're talking about.
Well, I'm like.
But I know enough to not listen to this asshole. It's the new grads I feel bad for.
Well, and that's the other thing. I feel like dental school does such a disservice to all of these new grads.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just anybody in dental school, not even new grads. The guys that are 1 year in, 2 years in. They're not teaching them
to be fair,
shit that they actually need to know. And then they bring in these guys.
The people, the freshmen, sophomores, they're being taught so that they can pass the exams. So they got to know that stuff. So it's not useless. There is a purpose.
Right. But, they bring in guys that are teaching them CE that have been out of school for a whole whopping year.
Well, the ones, I did find that really odd. We graduated, and then the following fall, one of my classmates was a clinical instructor. I'm like, Gary didn't know shit.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's like the blind leading the blind in dentistry. It's like, and I have a hard time, and this is something I have a hard time in every industry, is by giving somebody a prop just because of their nationality or their sexuality or how they present, whatever. I don't really give a shit. I just want you to know what you're talking about. And I want you to have experience in what you're telling me.
Right.
Not someone else's experience.
I think race and gender shouldn't matter. It should be, do you have anything worthwhile to share. And if you do fit another category, that's fine too.
Yeah, bonus.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be a factor.
But I'm watching all of these things transpire, and I'm like, they don't know anything. I know this person. They don't know anything.
They may not. It's not they don't know anything.
Okay. In dentistry.
Okay.
Where it's like, I know them on a personal level, and I already know that they're barely holding it together, but they're now getting a leg up because they fit a gender or an racial box.
DEI box, for sure.
And I'm like, why are people paying to come see or listen to these providers?
They're trying to learn as much as they can. And that's why group symposium and things like that are beneficial, because you're not tied to just a single person. The other challenge, though, that you also noticed was sometimes the advice, if you're not an admin, don't give admin advice. If you're a clinician, but then you say, oh, just write some post-dated checks. And you're like, that's illegal.
Well, yeah, I did have this conversation with one of the speakers because he was telling
It wasn't that speaking. It was in the crowd afterwards. And someone
not during this speech, but because I was talking to an office who they were really struggling financially with patients that needed financing, or the patient didn't value it. And I said, you were never trained to be a banker. Stop being a banker. That's not your job. People need to use financial options, whether it's Care Credit, Alpheon, Proceed, Prima, whatever. There's a million of them out there. That should not be something else that you're putting in your repertoire. You are not trained to be a banker. Stop being a banker. And the speaker said, well, I used to let people just write me 3 post-dated checks. I said, yeah, that's illegal. You can't do that. And he's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, it would probably make a difference if you had actually been in a dental office in the last 15 years. But you've been speaking and teaching.
Well,
and doing
not just
all this
that.
other stuff.
It's just that his role was never the financial arrangements.
And nor should it ever.
Exactly.
It should never be a dentist.
So stay in your lane, give clinical advice, because that's what you know, but don't, when it comes to admin,
but you need to
admins.
not suggest to your admins that that's even an option.
Right.
You know, in Washington State, we're not supposed to be keeping people's credit cards on file unless we have all this documentation. We've got all of this stuff on our server. And I'm like, why are you guys doing that?
Well, the biggest issue was, and some people out there will disagree with me, that lecture, many lectures for sleep apnea specifically, where they'll say, look, you've got a gold mine in your clinic already, just in hygiene, just screen everybody.
No, you don't.
You don't.
You may have a lot of people who have sleep apnea.
There are a lot of people that would benefit from it, but if they're not asking for it, if they don't value it, and the only way they're going to value it is if they already have a CPAP that they hate or something like that.
Or they've had a wife who's like, you need to get tested, and they keep putting it off, and you say, hey, we do testing here in our office. Yeah,
there are, you're going to find some, but low-hanging fruit, but if you're going to try to do sleep apnea, it comes from external marketing.
Anybody who tells you otherwise is trying to take your money.
There's some angle somewhere. They may not be trying to take the money, but there's
Are you kidding
something.
me? That's what they're pulling all these people, these offices into lectures, and they're like, you have a gold mine in your office. No, they don't. They have a gold mine in their community.
Yeah.
And they need to advertise to the masses. Because this poor office, I felt horrible for that office that was there. And they're like...
Yeah, they had 30 people that they had diagnosed and should have done treatment and had done 1 or 0.
They did 1. But the company that they were working for was charging them for every benefit check and every pre-auth that they did.
Right. So they had to pay out all of, 30 times.
Yeah, and I'm like, what?
For zero chance.
Unless your patients are asking for this, they're not going to be okay with you saying, okay, it's $1,500, it's $3,000, it's what. They don't care enough. They need to come and ask you if.
Right. So we're probably going to get a whole bunch of people emailing in or messaging me directly saying, that's bullshit. Fuck you, Lance.
Well, that's fine because I know that they're lying.
Yeah. Well, we've been doing it long enough to know that.
Well, that's the thing is this isn't our first. We've been doing sleep since what, 07?
06. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have 4 of our own patients that we've done appliances on that came from our hygiene chair.
Yeah.
So, and we have model heads that you've sculpted with CPAP machine. I mean, we've got everybody in our office fucking knows that we do sleep apnea. There's not a single patient that doesn't know we do sleep apnea. They don't want it unless they want it.
Yeah.
So selling people a load of goods because it sounds great and promising because these people are desperate.
When you say you people, what do you mean, you people?
The people that are going to these conferences,
okay, so
and they're finding hope that, oh my God, all my patients, that's who I'm going to go after. I'm going to go through my 2,000 patients that I have, and this is how we're going to make it work. That's not how you're going to make it work. How you're going to make it work is getting off your ass, getting a packet together with a welcome letter, explaining to your sleep doctors around you that this is what we do, and we would be more than happy to help your patients and help you.
Right. So the two prongs of approach is get referrals from sleep clinics, pulmonology clinics, hospitals, and external marketing, and getting the non-patients coming in. So if you're fine with dabbling, doing 1 or 2 appliances a month or every other month, yeah, hygiene's going to be fine for that. But if you want to do any real semblance of volume, it's going to take a lot more effort than that. And it's not that you're taking your hygiene time, and it takes time in your chair, and you're trying to sell something to someone, and they're not asking for it. Right. It's kind of like we all have the patients that we convinced them. We saw the wear patterns in their teeth, and so in hygiene we said you need a night guard and protect your teeth, and you might convince them to purchase the night guard because it's maybe only $100, $200 out of pocket, and the insurance will cover some of it and whatnot. But we all know that most of those night guards are sitting in a drawer somewhere. They're not wearing, half the patients or more aren't even wearing them at all.
Well, and it's one thing to ask somebody for $100 or $200.
Exactly.
It's a whole other ball game to ask them for
$1,000, $2,000,
or $4,000,
or $4,000,
whatever the deal is. And you have to, how do I say this? You want to have somebody else sell them on it, and that's going to be their sleep doctor.
Yeah.
Or their pulmonologist, or their PCP, or someone else who's already concerned with them. Because most people aren't going to be concerned with it when there's no data.
Yeah, if there's no need. If they have a spouse that's nagging them because they snore, okay, that'll motivate them. But
that's going to motivate them just enough
to get the ball rolling. But yeah. So anyway,
I felt really bad for that office, and that's why I stopped and talked to them at the end, because I was like, I need you to this is not your fault.
Yeah.
You should never have been told this, and I'm sorry that you have, but you need to go outside of your office. I mean, they're in Texas. People actually pay their bills in Texas.
Yeah, that's a fun fact. Yeah, I've noticed. Yeah.
That's the thing. So I'm like, here's my number. Call me. Let's talk about it. Let's see what we can do. Because there's a lot of other options. Find some financing for your patients if that's the case. I just felt really bad for them, and ugh.
So, Holly, have you ever been punched by a homeless person?
Oh, no. But I still think that I was 5 or 6 steps ahead of you.
No, you weren't that far.
Yes, I was.
No, I was right behind you. I know.
I was so. And I had already made eye contact, said hi to the guy.
Okay.
The guy said hi to me.
You got to set the table. No one knows what the hell you're talking about.
So we are walking down High Street.
I'm walking here. And it's like 12:30 in the afternoon. Yeah. We just finished lunch.
Yep. We're walking back.
It's a sunny day. It was nice.
Having a great old time. And I walk past this homeless guy and I look at him and I smile and I said, hi. He says, hi. And not even like 5 seconds later, the guy gets up and hits Lance.
No, you can only say what you experienced. 5 seconds later, you hear me going, fuck you, motherfucker. And then he says it back and we keep walking. And then I say, no, you go fuck yourself, fucking asshole.
And I was like, quit being such a dick.
And so then I said, yeah, the dude punched me. And so he stood up after you walked past. He stood up, just eye contact with me and just stood up and swung. So I got my arm there to block it, but
I think.
So at first you thought I was being a dick, and then you kind of.
But I think that he was trying to just. I think he thought you were saying something to me and bothering me.
And why would you think that?
Because he was completely pleasant to me.
No, he wasn't.
He was too.
No. He was mumbling, Jesus shit. He was wanted your coins.
He didn't ask me for money.
That's what he was sitting there for?
That's what you assume he was sitting there for.
Well, I didn't give him any, so therefore he was mad and
He was completely pleasant to me. And then I was
pleasant. You set the bar pretty low. He didn't punch you, so that means pleasant.
Well, I'm like, Lance, just let it go unless you want to call the police, and then we're going to be here all day long.
I didn't break stride. I mean, we kept walking.
You were screaming.
Well, the guy's a fucking dick. He punched me.
We were just screaming at him and flipping him off, and you just look like a crazy person. You look like the crazy person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah. Let me tell you, never a dull moment.
No, it's never dull. We've been out of the country several times since the last time we've recorded.
Yeah, it's been busy.
Did we leave the country in February?
Here's the okay. I almost said here's the thing.
Yeah.
But then I said here's the thing. And drink. And drink.
I knew the button was somewhere.
I know you were struggling there for a second. There was a pause.
Well, I pushed and it didn't do anything.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
As
so
happens.
Tell me about the thing.
What were we talking about?
Leaving the country.
Oh, so remember the last time we were on the pod, we talked to everybody about the fact that we were going to go to this cat rescue, and we asked for
that was May. What happened in January?
I know, but I'm going to May because
are we just going to go backwards? Or?
Yep, because that's the most refreshed in my head because it might be harder for me to remember. So
okay, so 2 weeks ago.
We went to the cat rescue that we asked for people to send in donations, and that is now our charity.
So where was this?
This was in Samos Island in Greece.
Mm-hmm. And what city did we stay in? Pythagoreia.
That one. The triangle one.
Famous for the math.
Yeah.
Or the theorem.
Or the theorem, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Yeah, I know you don't.
But we went with Chris and Christina.
Mm-hmm. Staffords.
Yes.
Lovely couple from
I
London.
love them. They're the best. They're the absolute best. And she's a vet. Chris is, as you know, a dentist.
He's just a dentist.
We've talked to just a fucking dentist, whatever. And she brought some veterinary students, and they were doing
spay and
neutered for this little island. And there's this.
So apparently they need to do 600 of these
600
per year.
A year.
Just to maintain and
just to keep
control.
Yeah. And
that's a lot.
Fuck. And there was 4 students with her, and her girlfriend Haley, who it was absolutely her girlfriend, not girlfriend and girlfriend, just one of her girlfriends. Colleague. No, she was Haley isn't her colleague.
Okay,
Haley's just one of her best friends, and she was so lovely too. She was there to help.
But is she not a vet?
No, she is not. She's in medical school.
There we go. I knew the medicine somehow.
But she was so lovely, and we just had an amazing time. They have feeding stations all over the island. They have traps all over the island. So anytime we were at a restaurant, we'd have to check their ears because they clip their ears if they've fixed them already. And so every once in a while we'd be like, oh, we need a cage. Somebody get a trap.
Go get that cat.
We found another one. But this island...
Just so people know, we didn't capture anybody at dinner.
No.
So,
but
we wanted to.
On this little fishing island, everything's pretty much open air, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
All the restaurants, everything's pretty open air, and all the cats just kind of walk through the restaurants. They're all,
at least that city.
They're all pretty domesticated.
No, they're wild.
Well, they're wild, but they
behave themselves.
Yeah, they don't act like they're wild. Like when you go into a restaurant, they'll just walk around your feet and hope that you drop something for them, whatever.
Right.
But everybody who lives on this island takes care of these cats.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the cats. It's amazing. But this rescue is run by a couple, and everything is on donation. They go through 1,000 pounds of cat food a week. And if they don't...
So that seems like a lot.
Yeah, it's the entire fucking island.
I'm just saying 1,000 pounds is a lot of food.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, what the fuck? And so they basically run off of donations.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would like to donate, we will have stuff in the show notes, and that is going to be the charity that we're going to try to help, because
we'll be asking for this
at any given moment.
All the time.
They have about 100 cats inside the rescue that they're helping to get medical treatments, like the stuff that Christina and the other students were doing. Christina is not a student; she is a full-on vet. Mm-hmm. But it was so wonderful. She was working with these young people and helping them to learn and care for these cats, because they're just a gajillion of them.
Yeah, and we all know, all the dentists listening know that you just get better with reps.
Yeah.
So, my first crown was pretty sloppy, and my second crown, not much different. But by the 100th crown, okay, maybe I understand. So this is an opportunity for these vets to get some experience really quick.
Yeah. So they're third-year vets.
I think they're thirds, yeah.
And so they have one more year, and they take their testings and stuff like that. But it was such a wonderful experience, because we learned a lot about the fact that these cats have oral health issues. I mean, you and Chris...
Yeah, there was a lot of resorptive roots, and so Christina was taking a lot of teeth out.
Well, and she had a handpiece, and I was like, hey, that's a dental handpiece. And she's like, yep, I bought it on Amazon.
No, it was just a Dremel. It was being used in the mouth, but it wasn't dental specific.
And so... It
kind of shit it out, so we had to go to the hardware store to try to find a replacement.
They don't have dental supply stores at all on this little island. And but it was just an amazing experience. I'm so grateful that we got to go.
Yeah.
And the people on this island it was a bitch to get to. It has one of the shortest runways.
Yeah, I guess Chris described it as captains only. On landing, as soon as you touch down, you got to throw on the brakes. And so it takes enough experience that the co-pilot doesn't get to do it. It's got to be the captain to land. So when they come, they never take the 737 that we were on. They always take those short turbojets or something, the twin jet.
Well, it took forever for us to get there. Well, and then we had an emergency on the flight where we had to land in Moscow.
There's a direct flight from Amsterdam to Samos that, it's a 3-hour flight. And, but to do that type of a distance, you need that big jumbo jet, or not jumbo, but the 737. Whereas if we would have connected in Athens, it would have been a smaller plane, and you wouldn't have to slam on the brakes. And so because we did the Amsterdam, we were trying to break it up so we weren't flying, like our trip back was a big ordeal. We wanted less of that on the way there. So we went to Amsterdam on Wednesday night, but I got there Thursday morning. We had Thursday, Friday to kind of hang out in Amsterdam. And then 5 a.m. Saturday morning is when we came into Samos. And, but there was a medical emergency, so we landed in Munich going, wait a minute, we're not there. There's no Wi-Fi on this airline.
Yeah, we're looking outside. We're like, this doesn't look like Greece.
And they don't speak English, so that when they asked for a doctor on board, well, I didn't hear anything, and I would have pretended.
Well, we did hear it. We just didn't know what he was saying.
Right. So, and I would have pretended not to know anything, because
it was a great. It's like
if they ask for a doctor, they don't want a mathematician. You got a PhD in math.
Or a principal.
So I would have been a little more effective than the mathematician, but not much. But we landed in Munich. They carted the person off.
They carted three people off. We were like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a whole...
So don't eat the fish.
What?
I'm just kidding. It's a thing on the airplane movie.
Oh, I never
Food
saw
poisoning. The whole reason the guy had to take over was the food poisoning because he had fish.
Oh, I didn't watch that movie.
Yeah, I know.
But it's not a luxury island. It's not going. You're not going to.
It's not Mykonos or Santorini.
Yeah, it's not those. I mean, it was a small fishing village, and everybody. She was like a fucking celebrity there.
Yeah.
Everybody was like,
"Oh, you're the vet.
The vet is here." Ah!
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, she's getting the shit, man. Roll out the red carpet. Because everybody cares about these animals.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Greek culture, cats and dogs are very high up on the food chain, basically. You know.
Not food chain.
No, but you know what I mean.
We're not the apex predator eating these things.
No, but they're high.
Highly regarded.
Yes.
Revered.
And so, you know, for her to be taking her time, because she doesn't get paid for this either, and for her to be taking her time to go and do something like this for the students and for this village, that's a huge thing. And they're very grateful. Everybody was just like so excited. And they would come and they would bring her like bottles of wine or cakes or whatever they had at their disposal as kind of a thank you to her for doing this. And it was really, really sweet. I really enjoyed it. But I would, if you wanted to have a donation go to something really worthwhile, this is very worthwhile.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Yeah.
So when I find the show notes, one time we had a link when we did the Facebook announcement of the whole thing and asking for donations. One reason why we don't do like the GoFundMe and some of the others that other people were asking about, the other companies take a cut. And so when we try to use a link, it's something that 100% of the money goes to the cat shelter.
Yeah, and it seems a little bit weird because it is in francs.
Euros.
Euros, excuse me. Wow. Yeah. I went back to 1999.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it will whatever you put in is going to translate over into euros. So it is a European company, but it just was it was quite amazing to see what these people do. I couldn't do it. I know that. Mm-hmm. I feel like I have a pretty big heart to help people. I could not do what they're doing. No. I mean, every single day, inside and out. And, you know, it's not a thankless job, but it's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. Try to do litter boxes for 100 cats and try to have them have a safe place and an area to heal and, you know, whatever. That's a lot. And, you know, you have every once in a while, they'll get another vet or something that comes over to help them, but they just want to be on vacation. Mm-hmm. They do a couple here and there where Christina literally spent an entire fucking 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. She was
the most dedicated person. I'm like, you want to go to the beach with us? And she's like, I can't. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to the beach. Yeah.
So we made our way to Siliamos. So that was our preferred beach.
But yeah, I cannot give her enough credit for what she did. I just was amazed with her the entire time. She was incredible. Yeah. And those students absolutely loved her. Yeah. Yeah. It was a great program. So anyway, so that was our trip to the cat shelter, which was fun.
So that was May.
Did we do anything else in May?
Yeah, we went to Vegas for the boxing match.
Oh my God. Okay. So our friend Lisa, is it Lisa Johnson, right?
Yeah.
I was like Johnson. Sorry, Lisa. Sorry. She's from Leeds, England, and she, when we were in Leeds in October, she was like, "Oh, I really want to go to see this guy fight." I was like, "Okay, well, I have a friend who's in PR. Let me see if I can get a hold of her and see if we can get tickets." And she's like, "Oh my God, can you think?" My friend Liz was able to get us tickets to go to the big fight in Vegas.
Canelo.
What's his name?
Canelo.
Okay. Canelo. Canelo? Not
It,
Canelo.
it means cinnamon.
Not
Canelo.
okay. Not okay.
Yeah.
Sounded like you're
Canelo Alvarez.
saying. Okay, it was sounding like you were saying cantaloupe for a minute, and I was like,
Okay.
I was like, wait, what's his name? So Lisa flew to Vegas to meet us, and it was so much fun. Well, it was more.
We're not fight aficionados.
Yeah, it was more like so much fun watching like your kids on Christmas morning because this was such a huge thing for her. And I had so much fun watching her. Everything. It was like a kid in a candy store. We stayed at the hotel of the fight that whatever
We had the MGM.
sponsored. Yeah, they sponsored the fight. And so we were at that hotel so that, she got to come and go to the ringside and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And Liz got us pretty good tickets. I mean, we had great tickets for that, I felt like. And then we got to go to the weigh-in, and which was freaking bloody hot. I thought I was going to die. But I'm like, I'm going to go to the other side and see what's going on. So I go to the other side, and there's this whole ruckus, and this guy is like, hey, can you take my picture with this guy? And and this guy's like, hey, you want to get your picture taken with me? And I'm like, no, I'm good, because I didn't know who he was.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back and I showed a picture to Lisa who he was, and Lisa about lost her shit.
Yeah. It was Julio Cesar Chavez, only the most famous Mexican boxer, former champion. He's a big deal.
And Holly's over here going, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
I don't give two shits who you are.
I have no
Here,
idea.
take my picture.
He was nice and everything.
He was nice about it,
taking
yeah.
all kinds of pictures with people, but I was like, I'll just take pictures with other people because they seem to know who you are because I don't know who you are. But we had so much fun with Lisa.
Yeah.
It was fun to take her around Vegas.
And it was fun just to participate in the environment. It's not my scene, but it was great. It was so much fun.
I'm so grateful that she was like, I want to go with you guys. If you guys want to go, I'm like, okay, whatever. I mean, because we're pretty much game for anything.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. It was wild though. I mean, we had Mucho Libre sitting behind us at the game, who was dressed out in his Mexican wrestler garb, and it was pretty crazy. We got to go to Capo's, which we always love. If you've never been there in Vegas, it's amazing. It's a speakeasy there.
Yeah.
And
you have to know the password kind of thing, and then they'll open the secret door for you to go into the dinner. And the outside doesn't look like it's a restaurant.
It looks like it more. I was a little disappointed that they cleaned it up.
They actually new coat of paint.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
It
looked run down and abandoned. Before.
Last time we thought we were at the wrong place.
Yeah. But it's not.
But now they've made it into more of a restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're respectable.
Yeah.
But live music while you have your dinner, and everybody there is either Italian or they're pretending to be Italian.
Yeah. It's a fun place to go.
Yeah.
But we got to kind of show Lisa around Vegas, and we went to the what's that thing called? The carousel?
Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
And got to see the dome and all that kind of stuff. We just had a really good time. She was sphere.
Sphere.
It's not called a dome.
No.
It looks like a dome though.
It's a sphere.
Okay, whatever.
It's called the sphere.
The sphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time though with her. She was she's a fun little party person. One. Yeah. So if you don't know Lisa,
and apparently she keeps winning on slots, but the trick is you have to be smoking cigarettes. So we had to borrow cigarettes from her. It didn't work, but
but then I played the horses.
We were going to put some money on the fight, and then you saw that the Kentucky Derby was the same day.
Yeah, and we had a patient who gave me the name of a horse. His horse did not win, but I also went against the patient because it was.
Well, you liked the name of the
winner,
and then it ended up winning.
Yeah, it was Mystic something.
Mystic Dan.
Dan. I was like, oh, I like that name better.
Yeah. So you put some money, but you should have put more.
I know, but I didn't know, and I'm such a tight ass with my money because I don't like gambling because I don't like the odds. But I was
you had me do pull tabs tonight. What the hell?
Because I was bored, and but I won. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I almost had a heart attack.
So we're in between rounds, and I bring up the Kentucky Derby on my phone. So we watched the Kentucky Derby. And then
And I literally won by a nostril.
a nostril. It was so close.
And so I was so excited and stoked. And then I also bet money on the fight, which somebody needed to explain the rules of betting on the fight to me.
Yeah.
Because I thought no matter how he won, I would get money. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that if he won by a decision, I wouldn't get any money. And that's exactly what happened, and that pissed me off.
Yeah, I'm no help there.
I don't understand. This is why
I don't do any sports
I don't gamble because I don't understand it, and I hate not getting my money back.
Yeah, so you should stay away from gambling.
Well, that's what I did.
You'll never be happy.
Yeah, I was just happy that I won the horse race, so it made up for the money that I bet on the boxing because I was pissed.
So all sounds good to me. Yeah.
That
was May.
Yeah, May was a good month.
Yeah.
May was fun.
May was a good time.
I turned 53 years old.
Are you sure?
I think isn't that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just wondering if you were sure. Because I'm 54.
Okay.
You're good.
Yeah, I turned 53. Wow. We had Mother's Day. Anything else?
Not in May.
I took Bianca to Palm Desert with me and took my car down. And we went to the drag show and everything to celebrate her birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, we went and saw that guy from Saturday Night Live, the comedian.
Yeah, Pete Davidson.
Yeah, we went to the Pete Davidson show.
Now, was that recorded for Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay, so the show that you saw, I'll be able to watch on Netflix soon.
So that was really fun.
Okay.
So that was our May.
All right.
What did we do in April? I can't remember April.
There was a wedding in April, and then...
Oh, my cousin Haley got married.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Yeah, but it was March is when we did our...
Okay, that one you can talk about. I'm just going to sit here and drink my wine now.
Okay. Well, that one was kind of the... I now have a thing where every year I want to be going to Europe and ski. And so...
We're working on the bucket list.
Yeah.
Because if you wait for your bucket list until you're old, you're not going to
well,
check it off.
when my father passed, there were a lot of things that I remember talking to him about we wanted to do, or just when we go skiing as a kid, he would talk about skiing in the Alps and stuff that he never did. And I'm like, yeah, someday I want to do that. And then I realized, wait, someday is never going to happen because I'm getting older. And so a year ago, we had gone to the IDS, and I said, on the way to IDS, we should go to Zermatt. So we talked about that on the podcast last year. Well, this year I said, well, let's do St. Moritz. And so fortunately, I didn't have a dental meeting to worry about. So to go to St. Moritz, I could either fly back into Zurich, just like I did last year, but I've already done Zurich. So I thought, well, might as well fly into Milan, Italy. And so...
Okay, I loved Milan, and a lot of people talk shit about it. We met so many nice people.
Milan was fantastic.
Yeah, and they gave us like the lowdown on the restaurants that are not tourist and bougie shit. It was so much fun.
So we love food. So we did a cooking class there in Milan.
Yeah.
And so we got restaurant advice from the chef, but we also got restaurant advice from the Prada guy. And so we did a couple days in Milan and then made our way up to St. Moritz in Switzerland. But flying home, we flew home from Vienna. So we landed in Milan, home from Vienna, and we had to just entertain ourselves in between, which ended up being skiing St. Moritz for a few days. Then a couple days in Salzburg, a couple days in Vienna.
Okay, weirdly, this is a fun fact for all you people out there that are not European. That's where the rich go to ski, but it's more expensive to ski in Washington State.
Yeah, I always interpreted St. Moritz as like super, super expensive. And or Washington or Whistler. Going to Whistler was more expensive.
Whistler was like 4 times more expensive than St. Moritz. I'm like, how much was your lift ticket?
Yeah, it was so cheap.
Like, wait, what? And, the food is just normal priced. And the hotel, we stayed at the Stephanie, which...
The Stefani.
They called it the Stephanie.
No, they didn't.
Okay, well, I heard it
because I'm like Gwen Stefani. Oh.
Okay, weirdo. It was not a fancy place. It used to be the family home.
Big old lodge.
And they made it into a hotel, but it's got so many nuances of just like hominess. Like everybody just sticks their boots in the hallway on these like dry racks.
Yeah.
And
so the next morning you come out and there's your boots to put on.
And they're dry.
And there's no fear of being stolen.
No one's going to steal your shit because they have shit that's more expensive than yours.
Yeah.
But I loved that, if you needed an extra blanket, you went down the hall and it had a big, huge armoire that was like Narnia. And you could just get as many blankets as you want to put on your bed and make
the portal to Narnia.
The portal to Narnia. Okay. But I was like obsessed with it. I'm like, Lance, this is like Narnia. And he's like, okay, you're a weirdo.
Well, I encourage you to go inside and but
never come back.
You were fearful that I would lock
me in there. But like we would come in the early evening and they would like be turning the fires on and stoking the fires and having a tea time. And it was just, I loved it. And then around the corner, there was a hotel that was $13,000 a night, which fuck you. There is no way in hell.
So it could be more expensive than Whistler.
I mean, yes, but why would it? That's the most ridiculous thing.
I mean, it was a nice hotel.
It was fine.
You had a nice massage there.
I did. And it was normal size price massage, but the rooms are 13. I'm like, okay.
They have surge pricing.
Somebody needs to explain to me, though.
Certain times of the year, it's not as expensive.
But do you spend all your time in your hotel?
If you're going to spend that kind of money, you better.
I don't understand. I would rather have a moderately priced, nice hotel because I don't want to be there until I go to sleep.
Yep.
When I go to places, I want to hit the ground running and explore everything I possibly can. I don't understand people who spend an absolute bloody fortune on a hotel and that's where they stay the whole time. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, why go to another country? Just go down the street and go to the Ritz-Carlton and call it a day.
Yeah. If it's hotels you want to experience, then stay local.
I don't get it. But the Stephanie I thought was a really cute, really fun. It reminded me a lot of like the lodges in Whistler. It had a little bit more of a rustic feel, but
definitely had Swiss chalet.
Yes, very
vibe.
much so. Actually, it kind of reminded me of Leavenworth.
A little bit of Bavarian Village.
Yeah. I just really loved it, and the people were
loved rabbits.
Phenomenal.
It was rabbit statues everywhere.
There were rabbits everywhere.
So it has something to do with the St. Moritz, because
wild rabbits.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
But I just really enjoyed that place.
Yeah, that was really, really cool. And then I rented a car and made our way to Salzburg and had a nice little adventure there in Salzburg.
And I got to drive on the
Autobahn.
Oh my God.
So the car has a little thing where it tells you what the speed limit is. And so you know when you should be going 130 kilometers an hour, 100 kilometers an hour. Back this way. All of a sudden, it was just like gray with a line. And you're like, what's that mean?
I'm like, does this mean I get to go as fast as I want?
We're pretty sure the answer was yes. So Holly took that as a yes and just went.
It was the
bat out of hell
thing ever.
Scared the shit out of me. Just gone.
I was like, this is amazing.
When the car starts vibrating like it's going to fall apart, maybe you're going too fast.
You know what? Eventually, it just levels out.
Okay.
And it's fine. But it was...
Maybe just the fear overtakes. And,
oh my God.
And you just go numb.
I was just like, this is the happiest I've been in so long. I don't even know. Just the speed and oh my God, it was amazing. But yeah, that was the first time I was ever on an Autobahn.
And we did find in the city of Linz, there's a mural on a side of a building of David Spade with the wrong quote. A Kurt Cobain quote that said Kurt Cobain, but it's David Spade's. So we drove out there and took a selfie right in front of it to say that we
hashtag David Spade.
Yeah, tried to tag him and see if I can get a reaction from him.
We didn't.
We got
whatever.
Nothing.
Fuck off.
Damn it.
David Spade. Comb your hair.
Yeah, and then we highlight of Vienna probably would be the chamber concert.
Yes, but let's back up to Salzburg.
All right, tell me about Salzburg.
We found out that schnapps do not taste like the same schnapps that high schoolers drink.
The shit we have in America isn't the shit they drink over there.
We had this great bartender at our hotel who kind of we got to know him a little bit, and he kind of did like this makeshift schnapps tasting for us. And we ended up tasting some of the best schnapps in the world. And I was like, wow, could you imagine being 16 years old and stealing this from your parents?
I thought it just peppermint schnapps is all I ever knew of schnapps. I didn't realize
I just knew peach schnapps because that's what my girlfriends always drank.
Okay, I always heard of peppermint schnapps, but I never had any of it. So I just
neither because I was a good Mormon girl. Yeah. But I'm like, there's no way my friends would drink this.
No,
because it was great. It's a nice sipper, but the way that they drank, I was like, how did that happen? I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and also it would be very expensive to drink the way that teenagers.
Yeah, because our bartender really spoiled us because he gave us a bunch of there was one schnapps. It was $80 or €80 a shot, and he just gave it to us. He was like, "We're having a great time. Yeah. Everybody's having fun."
We bought enough of other things that he was generous with a few things for us, but. Well, Holly, it's been an hour now, so I think we should probably wrap this up.
So we got to March.
Yeah. If we're going backwards, because this is June.
Yeah.
So
I don't really remember February. Oh, we went to New York in February.
Yeah.
And I don't remember January. I don't think we went anywhere in January.
What are the odds we didn't go anywhere?
I don't think we did.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Did we?
I don't know. We'll figure it out next time.
I don't think we did, so we could just be done.
Okay.
Let me look for really quick. Let me look at my calendar.
No.
Let me look at my calendar. Ah! We went to... I don't think we... Oh, wait. You did. You went to Puerto Vallarta, or...
No.
You went to... I went to Palm Springs. Oh, I went to Palm Springs. You went to Mom's Weekend, whenever that was.
Yeah, the Meeting of the Minds group. That was in Orlando.
That's the only thing we did.
Okay, so not a lot of travel in January.
Yeah, none.
And then...
that's wild. Then we did New York in February, and that's the only thing we did in February.
Yeah, I did the CE thing in Arizona 1st of February, so...
Doesn't count.
Yeah, I know. So...
That's it. Wow, okay, then we're done. We're caught up.
Yeah, we're caught up. Not that anybody was keeping score.
Yeah.
But anyway, welcome back to the pod.
I had my first renters at the Palm Desert House of my and I had to go down there at the end of February because that crazy lady destroyed my house.
Yeah.
And then
when you break the garden gnome, then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, those
don't mess with the gnomes.
Fucking cut, old lady.
Sons of bitches.
70-year-old lady trashing my house.
Yeah.
Fucking get out.
So we should wrap it up with that. So Holly, welcome back to the pod. We'll get into a better routine and do this a little more frequently because there are quite a few times that we are coming up with things that people have asked about.
Yeah, we're going to get some different equipment so we can be a little bit more portable since we've got 700 people living in our house.
Yeah, maybe we'll just have them join us on the pod too. It might be easier.
No.
Okay.
I don't want to do that.
All right.
That gets a little hectic.
All right. Well, as always, we finish off with a song. Did you remember we used to do songs?
Yep.
Yeah. So do you have one you wanted?
No.
Okay. Well, I get nostalgic from time to time.
Okay.
And so I recently re-downloaded Robin Hitchcock's album, Queen Elvis. Okay. And so this is Madonna of the Wasps.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Is this love?